Let's start again, okay? We've got Liverpool, Chelsea, the next Doherty. We've got a podcast announcement, viewer questions. But before all of that, which one of you dicks bought Martial? Own up right now. Own the fuck up. Own up. Which one of you was it? I'm absolutely furious. Who did it? So many people did it. There's bound to be one here in this stream right now. Tim Lum. First time I've seen your name, so probably first time you've been here, buddy. Thank you very much for coming. It was, in fact, a bourbon. It was a bourbon. The price rises have ruined my plans to bring Sterling in. Oh, Jesus. How does that... Oh, because Sterling went up as well. Oh, that's the worst news. Liam says it wasn't me. Saw the stream retweeted by FPL General. Did he retweet it? Oh, what a lovely little dude. Thank you very much, FPL General. Oh yeah, okay, so we'll just jump into the evening, Sossington. How's it going? I can take Kevin De Bruyne up to Sterling, but I need two 4.5 mids. Well, you're in luck, my man, because we are looking at 4.5 defenders, not mids, actually. You're not in luck, Raging. Sorry, buddy. I have announced on Twitter, I'm going to show you guys this. Let me see this here. I am doing a podcast with FPL General on Tuesday. We're recording it on Tuesday. You guys will hear it probably Wednesday. How fucking exciting is that? How exciting is that? I've never been on a podcast my entire life. First podcast. Who does that? This is like me learning how to cook like 6 months ago, and then getting a call from Gordon Ramsay and being like, yeah, what's up? Can you please come down? We need you on MasterChef. What the fuck? Who does that? Yes, I'll do your podcast. Abso-fucking-lutely. I will do your podcast. Holy shit. So I'm very excited about that. It was James from Fantasy Weekly who reached out to me. It was a really weird story. I'll probably tell it on the actual podcast, but he messaged out and said, I liked your stream. Can you guest host for me while I'm away in Croatia? And I was like, absolutely, let's do this. That sounds great. And he was like, yeah, so Tuesday. Liam, thank you very much. It was really nice of you to say. He said David is hitting the big time. And I just want to let you guys know, for those that are worried about me selling out, me, Dave, FPL Dave, the sellout, he is not. Actually, I feel like I should I should say that I always came into this business to make money. It's a great motivator. And I'm absolutely for sale, because if you start sold out, then no one can ever tell you that you've sold out, because you've already sold out. It wasn't like I had anything to sell. I was already selling. So yes, podcasts, advertisements, birthday parties. Your 6-year-old has an FPL team and wants to do a wild card. I'm available. You fucking let me know. I'll swear less though, depending on his age, or her age, or their age. Who's to judge in this day and age? So yeah, so that's a big announcement. I'm really fucking happy about it. And they did the whole they did the whole confirmed thing. You can see there, confirmed. Where am I? FPL Dave will be guest hosting next week's episode, while James is in Croatia, and General is supposed to be on his best behavior. No, I'm going to be on my best behavior. That man is the smoothest talker. I've listened to that podcast like 3 or 4 times now, like their podcast back to back to back, because I'm trying to, get in the mood of like, oh, I'm going to be host. And he is smooth. He's really good at it. So it's going to be difficult to not swear, to not stutter. I mean, I know I'm talking to you naturally now, but like, this is easy because it's live and I don't worry about it, and like, it's just you guys. And I feel like we're family. I mean, you're watching me drink alcohol while I'm talking shit about fucking FPL. Like, this is easy, but like going on a podcast, right? Okay, head in the game. We're doing okay. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. And I really hope you guys listen and you like it and you go and upvote it, or whatever you do with podcasts. I don't really know how it works. I don't even know I don't even know anything. I don't know anything. I know it's Tuesday. That's it. Plug this stream. Plug this stream. Yeah. I'm going to ask him. Like, so one of the things that we're going to go through this stream is questions that you guys think I should ask him. And the first thing I'm going to say is, I really like your accent. How do you pronounce www.twitch.tv/FPL Dave? And just, you know, or maybe I'll say, see next time you start your stream or you start your podcast, your 59th minute podcast, can you please say something along the lines of, hello folks, www.twitch.tv/FPL Dave, FPL General here. And you know, that's it. You start that way and then move on. What's the podcast called? Fucking yes. Liam, thank you. What a segue. What is the podcast called? Mr. Zabs? Mr. Zabs? Oh. No, that's not a table, that's a book. The Fantasy Weekly Podcast. And I'm going to link their Twitter. If you can move out the way, Cat, so I can get copy. Link the Twitter in the chat. FPL podcast called Fantasy Weekly, brought to you by Fantasy Bet. Yeah, sound good? And I'm really excited about it. It's going to be amazing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Jesus, I hope that doesn't happen. So it's a later stream because I was working late, but then I actually got an early. So I thought I was going to be finishing at 7 or 8, sorry, and I finished at 7. So I've actually just been drinking. And yeah, so apologizes for the belching there. Shall we do a bit of FPL? I hope everyone's good. What are you doing? Oh, that's a big... Is that a moth? What's a spider? He's looking at a spider. Okay, let's go. If there's a moth, there's a problem. But spiders tend to just sit and do nothing. So that's cool. FPL, right. Let's look at FPL. So we've got... So did I call you guys dicks for buying Martial yet? I did, didn't I? I did. Right, you're all dicks. So you guys are dicks. Stream sub button. That's another thing. So this is the last stream that I'll do before I have a sub button, which means you guys can sub to me and give me more money for things like calling you guys dicks and, you know, swearing a lot and being an idiot and things like that. Remember when I said I would always sell out? Ideal. Thank you very much. OSRS. You might do, you might not. You fucking better. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, there's, you know, you guys use Twitch, right? You know what sub button is. You can do it with Amazon Prime, give me money for free, or you can use your cold hard-earned cash. Meepo 3APXG APYX. I don't know. Meepo. Thanks, man. Welcome to the fucking team. Welcome to the big fat sexy club. I maybe shouldn't have drank as much as I did before the stream, but it was a long day at work, so yeah. It's Beijing Tom. Too many bourbons. Oh yeah, shit, so it is. Hey man, how's it going? I forgot what your name was on Twitch. Okay, FPL, right? So this was my plan, and just to get your memories back in place, we have Fraser. FPL focus. I got this. So we had Fraser, and we've got Murray, who came off in the 64th minute, and we also have Zuma, who got 4 goals into him. This was on Monday, so this was our thinking on Monday stream, right? And what I was going to do was put in Martial. Come on now. Martial. I spelt it right. So put in Martial, and then also put in probably Barnes, or whichever 6.5 striker I want to do, and get a 4.5 mid defender instead of Zuma. So that was the plan. This right here. That's what I was supposed to do. So my whole thing was like, Martial's out of position. Frederick's his heat map looked great considering it was against City, and that's what sparked me to look into other heat maps and start doing the whole stat fact finding thing. So I'm going to share all my information with you. It's all here. We got it. And then Barnes, you know, the monkey train for Barnes. So or Pookie or whoever. I haven't decided yet. Or I could stick with the 6 million mark and go for Wesley or something, and then upgrade King to a 7 million, later on down the line. But Martial, 0.1 too much. 0.1. Look at this. There you go. 0.1. Very, very not happy. Have you the Ashley Barnes Grime song? Have I heard it? No, I haven't heard it. Can you send me it? I would like to listen to that. So yeah, that was the plan. Now the plan is a bit ruined. I'm thinking about still doing this move though, with just leaving Fraser in. But I've also been looking at Pulisic, because now we're not on Monday anymore, right? This is Thursday. This is Thursday the 15th. We're 2 days away from the game week. And I noticed that Pulisic last night was pulling the strings. So that leads us straight into our first topic of the day, which is how Chelsea and Liverpool looked. And you know what? I have to say that Pulisic was looking great. First of all, first things first, Pulisic, I know this is kind of why you have to watch games as well. I seen someone else tweeting this, but he scored an absolute beauty. Like, he scored an amazing goal and he was this much offside, and it won't be counted if you looked at that game with XG or XA or whatever, right? Like, it won't be included. But it was an amazing run. He skinned 2 players, and like a cool, calm, collected finish, bottom left corner, way out of the reach of the keeper, and it's just not counted, right? It wasn't that great of a game to watch, Tom, you're absolutely right. But it was really, really good to see Zuma not just shit the bed entirely, because he actually did well. He stopped Salah. I think Salah maybe only got past him once that I noticed, or it technically wasn't past him if you're going to count it, but he kind of got a shot off and stuff. But Zuma played well, and he didn't give away a penalty, which is, one up from the game week against Man United. He played for the full 120 minutes, which I'm not happy about. But Christensen didn't play well. He's not fast enough to deal with Liverpool. He's not fast enough to deal with, the left backs if they get in behind their man, or if they overlap, things like that. So, I feel like Zuma's a good pick, at least now. But obviously, Chelsea are a bit iffy at the back. We're going to have to deal with Rudiger coming back. I'm not 100% sure. So I decided to go and see what else I could find, and we'll go through that in a bit. So Pulisic was good. Emerson is also great. I think he had the highest XG of the game against Man United, right? And he had a pretty high XG last night too. He hit the post again, so that's twice. So he's really taken up that Alonso mantle. He's channeling his inner Alonso, and we're already seeing him, fully commit to the part. So that's really good. If he can do a little bit better than Alonso and actually score this season, that would be great. But at least he's getting in good positions. He's on the same side as Pulisic. So yeah, I think that he's an actual proper. If Chelsea can get their shit together, I would like to turn Zinchenko into Emerson if Zinchenko gets dropped. Because, Zinchenko's going to go to Mendy. I might not have that 0.5 million, and Emerson's actually really good. I'm not expecting to have Zuma the whole season, not by a long shot. I'm actually quite fearful that he does get dropped, even though, the everything points to him staying with Rudiger. But if he gets dropped, we need to have options, and Emerson is definitely an option if you can find that 0.5 million. Even if you've got someone like Kyle Walker-Peters or whoever, Chelsea have great fixtures, the second best fixtures for the next 8 games or something after game week 2. So game week 3 to game week 9, Chelsea are really high up there, and they can't struggle forever. They've got too many good players. And if you looked at the stats for Manchester United versus Chelsea, Chelsea were unlucky and Man United were lucky. So it could have finished 2-1. Soft penalty, etc., etc. So I'm quite happy that we were able to see Chelsea midweek, because if we had just left it, we'd all been on the fuck Chelsea train from, you know, the weekend right up to the second weekend, and we'd be seriously thinking about dropping them or never looking at them again. So it was nice to actually see them do well. And on top of that, they did well against the Champions League winners, Liverpool. And we're going to have to talk about that in a little bit. Actually, let's talk about it right now. Chelsea attacked well, but we made them look very good, to be honest. Yeah, so I don't know if Liverpool just decided, like, look, we're going to go out there. Don't go too nuts. You know, it is Chelsea. Just beat them and, you know, save your strength. I don't know what Klopp was doing, right? I don't know what the deal was. But, like, yeah, like Tom said, like, he's a big Liverpool fan, and he noticed the same thing I noticed. Like, Liverpool were just totally like, we're going to win this no matter what. And they didn't give any respect to the runners. And as you've seen, Pulisic nearly got through that high line, that offside trap. Mount also nearly scored because they were playing a little bit too far up, but then that was offside as well. So I feel like Liverpool, their defense isn't looking as strong as last season. However, Trent Alexander-Arnold, or as we could call him, Trent Absolutely Anonymous. He absolutely did not play the first 90 minutes, which is amazing for anyone who has him in their fantasy team. So if Trent's not playing, he's getting rested. A lot of people were saying, oh no, is Trent being dropped? He's not being dropped. This is, as FPL General very adequately put it, it's the Mickey Mouse League. It's the Mickey Mouse Cup. It's just pure shite. So I'm pretty sure that Gomez is going to move back to the middle. Matip is going to go drop to the bench. Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to come on. And for Robertson owners, it was really good that he went off. Because so he went off at 90 minutes. Trent Alexander came on to finish the game off. Took a really good penalty as well. So that was really, really good. Everything positive about that. For Trent Alexander-Arnold owners, for Robertson owners, feel safe knowing that they're not going to miss minutes. At least, you know, up to like the 8th minute. They might do a wee sub here and there, but they're pretty much playing or starting. So that's good. That's really, really good. For Virgil van Dijk owners, I wouldn't sweat it. He's an absolute monster. We've seen him play 90 minutes every single game, no matter what. He looked amazing. He's always looking like a threat in corners. So if you've got him, like, you know, you don't need to go anywhere. It's really good if you have Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. I was thinking this. I was like, what if Robertson got injured? What would I do? What would I do if Trent Alexander-Arnold got injured? Which is an absolute issue last year. So it's good to have these thoughts and have these kind of like, I'm really sure that I should probably have a backup. But the backup is Van Dijk. If you have Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold and one of them gets injured, just get the other one. Or if Van Dijk gets injured, find that 0.5 and move up. Or use it as an opportunity to get 2 attackers, because Mane was looking delicious. That's our next little bit from Liverpool. He was looking fantastic. Mane, I haven't checked his stats out yet, but you know, 2 goals. First goal was an absolute like diabolical defense and like little goal mouth scramble, but Mane got the end of it, scored, and that was fine. But his second goal was really good. He seemed dangerous on the counter. He seemed all his usual stuff. He's obviously fit enough to start that game against Chelsea. And even though Chelsea did shit on the weekend, they're still a top 6 team. So, yeah, Mane played really well. I'm expecting him to start on the weekend and Origi to drop to the bench. Because Origi came on, I don't remember what time he came on, but he's always the same. Like, I was talking about this with my friend, and he's good. He's got good position. He'll score if you get him the ball in the 6-yard box, but like, he doesn't have that same oomph, that same drive that Mane has. He doesn't have that same, like, I know I can skin every single defender that I come near, so I'm just gonna try it. And if it doesn't, then, you know, 9 times out of 10 I'll lose the ball, and that 1 out of 10 I'll pass to Salah. So like, he's got that going for him. He's got that composure and that skill and that confidence to try and beat his man, and that's why he gets so many shots off, because he's always trying to do that. Whereas Origi doesn't have that yet. He's a great player and he will be a great player, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Mane's going to start. He's just too good. He's world class. And fun fact, I looked at his transfer market. value, and he's over 100 million. He's over 100 million. That's crazy. So, yeah, really good. Let me read the chat a little bit. I have Robbo and VVD. A lot of people have got that. If one gets injured, I'd go KDB get KDB to Mane. Yeah, see, that's an option, right? You can jump away if someone of them gets injured. Chelsea looked better in the Super Cup. Absolutely, Tim. I'm thinking about going Salah to Mane, maybe by wildcard if I do that early. Salah to Mane. I just wouldn't risk it because we know that Mane is precious to... I mean, so is Salah, right? But Salah's a monster. He'll play every game. But now that we know that, you know, there is room for Origi to come on, I feel like that's a bit of an issue. Imagine if FPL added microtransactions, buying more free transfers with money. I would stop playing. If that was the case, I'd jump to a different one. That would be disgusting. If microtransactions, are you shitting me? That would suck. That would fucking suck. Okay, so Emerson was good. Pulisic was good. Chelsea looked better. Barkley is a fucking diabolical pick, and I'm so sorry for anyone who has him. I just don't know why they're playing him out wide. I mean, I know he came on late on and he looked fresh, but that was because he hadn't been running. You know, he's dying on his arse by the 50th minute in the weekend. I wish he was on penalties because it would give me something, because 6 million for a penalty taker is not bad for a top 6 team with someone like Pulisic always going into the box. But I'm not happy about him. A lot of people were asking me about Mount as well, and you know, Mount is competing for a spot with Pulisic, Pedro, Willian when he gets back, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi. It's just not worth it. I mean, 6 million, yeah, for now. Transfer him out later on when people get back, maybe. But, you know, why transfer in someone who's a maybe to then definitely have to transfer them out later? So I probably wouldn't do anything. Poor Tammy Abraham, Liam says. Yeah, he got a lot of hate on Twitter. I didn't like that. I wish there was a thumbs down button on Twitter. A lot of racism. That was pretty shit. And he was upset. I mean, that's 2 games in 2 that he's ended it with tears, which kind of sucks. But you know, Adrian was bound to save one. I mean, they were all going down the middle. So he did save it, and you know, it's just penalties. Like, I think Chelsea should leave that game thinking, yes, we took it to penalties against Liverpool. We're not as shit as what we thought we were 4 days ago. So that's a positive. And another thing to note just before we move on is that Adrian actually played well. He made some fantastic saves. He's a good shot stopper. We all knew that. We were a bit iffy on Liverpool's defence. But I feel like that iffiness isn't going to go away even if Alisson comes back. So for now, Adrian's fine. And if you only have 2 Liverpool players and you've got Ryan or something, I mean, you could probably jump to him, but just know that you're going to have to transfer him out eventually. I probably wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't hate on anyone who did do it. Adrian is crazy good price for a starting pool goalie. Yeah, I mean, he is a good price. Matip was a monster, underrated. Yeah, I see because Matip was playing in the middle. He's just shadowed by Van Dijk, right? And I was paying attention to the wingers. I really wanted to see how Gomez was, because I was worried about him taking Trent's place. And to be honest, he really, really did struggle on the wing, on that fullback position, Gomez. He couldn't take it forward. He lost the ball at one point. There was a mad counter-attack. I just wasn't confident with him, and I'm sure Klopp was a bit frustrated in that side as well. And they kept exploiting Gomez. So Matip, if he did play well, like you say, you know, he could take that spot. But the second centre-back spot for Liverpool's a definite no-go. So anyone who's there, I would just ignore that spot. We're looking for confident picks that are going to play every game. Penalties are just the luck of the draw. You're absolutely right, Liam. Adrian is a crazy good price for a starting pool goalie. Definitely. Jota goal. What's the score? Is it 3-0? 4-0? Ruben Vinegar, Martin Gibbs-White, or Morgan Gibbs-White, sorry. Their new striker got a goal. They played their second team today, right? Wolves did. They played their second team. So I mean, that's That's fine. I'm totally cool with that. Wolves have a really, really poor fixture run from now until like season, or I think it's game week 9. So, I mean, I'm not really worried about Wolves at all. The fact that Yota's playing now is probably just like a little bit of fitness. Vinegar. Because I'm not going to say vinaigrette because I don't know if that's correct. So I'm just like, you know how when you watch a streamer or you watch a podcaster or listen to a podcaster, probably, or watch Fantasy Football Scout YouTube videos or Meet the Manager or whatever, right? And they all say, I don't know how to pronounce that guy. I don't know how to pronounce this guy. It's like that with me, but like a billion times worse because I come from Canada and then moved to Scotland. So my accent's all over the place. I don't even know how I pronounce normal words, let alone people from different countries, okay? I'm so terrible at it, and I'm gonna have to apologize up front to Mr. General because I'm so bad. I still call him Doherty. It's Doherty. I know that, but my brain just doesn't see when I'm talking. It just doesn't register. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be that dad in like 10 years time that calls his kid every name except his kid's name. Like, oh, John, I mean Susan, I mean Neil, Charles. You know that guy? That was my mum. I'm gonna turn into my mum. Yeah, John and Susan, you know? Okay. So because of the Chelsea and Liverpool game, yeah, well, we don't judge sex that early on, you know? They got to deal with it themselves. So I can still, you know, I could do this. Obviously we need to look to see exactly who we want to go for. But, you know, Wesley's up there. His fixtures aren't the worst. They're not the best. I wouldn't agree with some of these, but just for a quick look. And then you've got Zuma can turn to any number of these guys, right? So here is the next Dohertys that I was looking at. Bam. Do you guys see that? So obviously Peters is up there because he got 2 assists, and we'll actually look like we'll look to see why he got those 2 assists and what's going down. Like Doherty was obviously super attacking, and therefore he was always in the box, so he's good for a shout, he was good for a shot, he was good for an assist. But what made him different to other fullbacks, right? And it's obviously the tactics, right? So we need to make sure that we don't jump on the next Doherty just because he seems to be attacking. We need to take everything into consideration. Sossington says no Gilbert. We can absolutely look at other people. I was just looking at people who I liked the fixtures and or I liked how attacking they were. But we can look at Gilbert as well. Don't you worry. So how long have we been going for? 36 minutes. That's not bad. Nearly half time, lads. Okay, so Tim says Peter's fixtures look a bit scary until game week 5. That's true. Let's have a look at the fixtures just to remind ourselves. So Peters plays for Burnley. I knew that. I didn't have to check. And Burnley's fixtures for the next, let's say, after game, because we're not going to do it for this game week, right? So we'll look for Burnley. There, that is, they've got Wolves away, Liverpool at home, and then they've got these 3 decent fixtures, and then they've got Everton at home, right? If we take Peters and we put him on our bench, because on our bench we have Kelly who can play, or Dendonker who can play, you know. If we put him on our bench, oh, spoiler alert, for the game week 3, game week 4. So then we actually start, not game week 4, but game week 5. All of a sudden, we're getting a lot better with the Burnley. They're going up in their fixture difficulty. If we then look at 10 game weeks instead of just 6, you can see right there that run makes them second for best fixtures. So yeah, Gilbert doesn't have the next, or not Gilbert, yeah, Peters doesn't have the next couple of game weeks on his side, but take those away and he's an amazing choice. Can anyone tell me why he's not the best choice though? Despite him getting 2 assists, despite him getting, you know, really good fixture run in the next couple of game weeks. Like, can anyone tell me, just off the top of your head, why I don't want to go for him? And he's the first person I'm going to say no to. Rotation? Maybe. We don't have to deal with that just now. But yeah, he is definitely a rotation risk because he wasn't their first choice. So I feel like he's, you know, cementing that spot in. I'll go ahead and tell you because it's for me, I haven't seen him, but I haven't seen any football except the Super Cup. Oh wow, you missed game week 1, Tim. Tim. No, Tim. That's Jurassic Park. The reason why I don't want to go him is because of Pope. It's Pope. Fucking Pope. Pope is probably, from game week 5 onwards, the best choice for goalkeeper. Like, the best, hands down. Other than the premiums, Pope is number 1. So anyone with Ryan or Heaton or any of the other 4.5s are all going to move on Pope very, very soon. So if I go for Peters, I'm doubling up on Burnley. And while I think that might be a good idea, you know, in principle, I am never going to put 2 eggs in that basket. Sossington says, could maybe go Leno. He's only 5 million. Absolutely. Arsenal's fixtures do change after a while. Let's see what we're looking at here. Where are we? Where are you, Mr. Arsenal? I know you're around here somewhere. Ah, you're right at the top. Fucking perfect. I missed you. So there you go. So Arsenal have the best fixtures from game week 5 to game week 14. So Leno's a good choice as well, especially if they get David Luiz kicking and Tierney kicking. I would say that Leno is a good choice. But my point is that I have Ryan. Thank you very much, MK Knox. MK Knox, that was easy to pronounce. I was a bit scared when I looked at it at first, but it was pretty good. Welcome to the fucking big fat sexy club, my man. Get away, you bloody fly. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Leno. So Leno is a bit of an issue because he's a bit too much for my Ryan. But I'm almost certain that I'm going to go Ryan to Pope, which means that I can't unfortunately get Peters. But for anyone who doesn't give a shit about doubling up on Burnley, or who has Ederson, or who has Alisson and then therefore Ederson, or Leno, or Kepa, or Spurs keeper that's escaped me. What's his name? He looks really good and he's French, and he's hot and he's spicy and what's his name? Laurie. Thank you. Yes, Laurie. If you've got him or any of the other premiums, then absolutely, let's look at Peters. Luka Moura to Pulisic, Anderson, or wait until game week 3. Faldahum. What a name. You know the answer to that. Wait till game week 3. Obviously, you're in a bit of a position where Luka Moura is playing City, and then we're unsure of what he's going to be doing. But keeping that transfer held until you have 2 gives you the option to do like mini wild cards where you can get -4 for 3 transfers. You can probably go to Kane if you play your cards right, so I would definitely hold. Let's look. Wouldn't mind doubling up on a lower team goalkeeper defense if the defender is attacking enough. Well, yeah, but I mean, okay, sorry. Before we go through, let's look at that in a bit bigger. Last year, let's cast your mind back to last year. Would you have went Patricio and Doherty? Because that was an option. Probably not, right? What's Spurs FDR from game week 3 for several weeks? Little request. Tom, for you, my man, anything. Little request. From game week 3, Spurs are 72.9. They've got decent fixtures. That Liverpool one's bringing it right down. But if you just call that off, they're probably much better. Let's look at them to game week 9. Yeah, there you go. If you just take them up to then, they're 3rd place. Decent. Hello, did you watch Ajax versus PAOK match? No, I fucking did not watch anything of the sort. I am watching the Premier League only, and I'm not filling my head with all that little nonsense, right? I don't have time to concentrate on other shit. I'm only kidding. No, I didn't watch it. I was probably doing something. Ben Foster to Pope, yes or no? Not yet. I would say wait, my man. But yeah, eventually, that's a good shout. And then you get an extra 5 million, or 0.5 million. Or you could do Leno, and that means you can look at this, my man. You can look at this dude here, Peters. Now, so we're looking at the heat maps. If you guys can see that clearly. If not, I can zoom in, I think. There we go. Right. So, Lawton's at the bottom on the right-hand side. Peters on the left. And as you can see, right, if we take Lawton's off, 97 touches. 97 touches is a lot. There's a lot going on there. He spent a lot of time in like the middle of the park. He went as far as up here. He even managed to make it in the middle, which means he's cutting in from the inside. That is amazing. That is really, really good. For someone who's playing, you know, in a team where we're largely, you know, we know them for being defensive. We know them, like the Burnley of old were just monster defense. You would get Tarkowski or Tarkowski or me or someone, and you would just have them in your team and you would hope for the best, and they'd usually be good for a couple of clean sheets. Now we're looking at Burnley, the attacking monsters, and yeah, that is a great heat map. Now obviously it's game 1, you know, numero uno. We don't need to actually deal with this kind of stuff just yet, but it's very interesting to note that he had almost 100 touches as a left back, and he was playing so high up. Compare that to his counterpart, 55 touches on the right hand side. So Burnley are definitely favoring the left hand side. They're definitely favoring Peters, and it's a very good sign that his heat map is so big. Let's compare that to, you know, just on the other side, just to show you. Where are we? These guys. So they're a bit higher pushed up, which means that they were obviously countered, and, you know, for all the touches they have, they are only 12 touches more, both of them put together. So that's the difference, right? Peters had almost the same amount of touches as both the left and right backs of Southampton. Something to consider. Okay, so he's a great shout. He's only 4.5 million, I'm sure. And he can slot in there very, very easily, especially with the fixtures like we just saw. They're pretty good after game week 5. I didn't expect him to be that attacking considering he was at Stoke. Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about him until game week 1. And watching the highlights, like, he was fresh. He was on form. All right. Let's look at the next guy. I know Dunk's in there, but he was in there literally just for me. I would say that he was definitely 100%, million percent not playing on the wing. He was just in there because he's Dunk. He's the header brother. But let's look at his counterpart. Let's look at his co-worker Montoya. Okay, Brighton now playing under Potters is extremely attacking, like more so than you would think. For whatever reason, going away to Watford, they just didn't do their thing. They just decided to, like, you know what, we're Brighton and they're expecting us to just huddle, so we're just going to go all out and attack. And Watford were like, what the fuck is happening? They just got trained. Like, and the best thing about it was Brighton they overperformed in every stat you can think of. Like, they overperformed, but they just kept going. They just didn't stop running. And that's why they did well. Unfortunately, as a Murray owner, I need to be a bit concerned about his minutes, but I'm glad that they're doing well as a unit. It means that they might do as good for the first half, at least in game week 2. But Montoya was key, and there was a few different podcasts and stuff shouting him. So I thought I'd just show you. Now, not as many touches as Not as many touches as the last guy we looked at, Peters, but I would say that he spent a bit more time in the final third than Peters. So he was up a lot. He wasn't really tracking back as much. Like, he wasn't there for defense, especially since they had three defensive positions there, right? So they've got that pretty much down. Duffy, Burn, and Dunk. So Montoya is kind of free to roam. So that's something to know, right? And if Montoya is free to roam, he's free to attack, he's free to cross, and they're playing a lot more fluid under Pars, which means that he can get in these kind of positions. And you can see there he's actually had a few touches in the box as well. So that's really impressive. Montoya played well, but I would still say that he is not the man for us. He virtually becomes an out of position winger. Absolutely. Jim, you are 100% correct. He is as out of position as we could possibly say. He's like Kolasinac, actually. The only problem is, there's two problems, right? One is that we don't know if they're going to be playing 5 at the back all the time, right? It's just game week 1. They played a multiple of formations during preseason. They played this one probably because they were away. We know that he at least played this man. Is it Gross? They played him because they were away, right? So they definitely did some changes. We know that they made changes because they were away. So I don't know if he's going to be as attacking as we hope in the next game. We don't know if they're going to be playing 4 at the back or 5 at the back. That's true. It did work a charm, but I think I think Watford were caught off guard. You know what I mean? I'm not 100% sure that they were absolutely the right tactic. I think Watford were just like, oh shit, we totally fucked this. So I just wanted to jump into his stats real quick. So let's go down to Montoya, his offensive stats. Okay. So key passes 1, dribbles 1, he was fouled twice, he was dispossessed 3 times, and I forget what this is. Let's have a look. Bad control 4. So he's not the best stat-wise for game week 1. He didn't have the best of games. And we know that because he didn't hit his mark or anything. He didn't take any shots, but he's doing the right kind of things. So we're going to keep him in mind. Potter will play 3-5 at the back this season, I think, at Brighton. I mean, hopefully, because consistency, if they keep playing the same thing, it means that our stats are more consistent to look at, right? So if we have more of a similar sample without, controlling all the other aspects, I forget what that's called, but in science, when you want just one change so you can monitor the difference, and you want every other variable to be a constant. That's the thing. Variable. Yes, I fucking said it before you typed it. Yes. So they want the variable control to be most things, and then one thing change. So what in this point we want the Montoya's stats to change, and we want every other position to stay the exact same, so we can see if he's improving or he's staying the same or he's getting worse even. So we hope that he's going to play 5 at the back. So if they do, I'll do another stream next Thursday, and we'll come back and we'll look at how they did and what the stats are, and start to look at XA and things like that for these guys. So yeah, let's move on. So that was him, Montoya. Now next thing is probably people that you wouldn't expect, two players that you wouldn't expect to have done well considering their opponent. But let's look at Aarons and Lewis. Good solid names that I can easily pronounce, okay? So here's their heat map, and they lost 4-1 to Liverpool away. Like, who told them to attack so much against Liverpool and look so good doing it? Like, they were, as soon as the game started, everyone was saying to themselves, they're going to concede. There's not going to be a clean sheet. And it was a good job that some of the defensive assets on Liverpool got some assists and goals, because, like, Norwich were always going to score. They always look dangerous. They always look good in the overlap. Pookie was in those runs. I'm sure that Aarons or Lewis are going to get some assists. So how do we pick the right one? That's the problem. Liam says that's why Brighton bought Webster for my local team to play in a 3 with Duncan Duffy. That's fair enough. Hopefully that works. How do you get those graphics under the players? The graphics here, I'll link the whole thing. So this is whoscored.com. You can find, if you go to the Premier League and then you go to their match center and then summary. And in the summary, you've got this heat map thing here. And if you want to look at the stats, then just click this player stats right there. I think he meant the fixture indicator. Oh, the fixture indicator. This guy. This is called Better FPL. It's an extension. Just literally Google Better FPL and it will give you all these little cool squares. Yeah, it's a Chrome extension. I don't know how to link you a Chrome extension, so I'm just not going to. No worries, my man. Someone else could definitely link you, I'm sure. But it took me a lot longer than I wish to tell anyone to get that back. Because I had it last year, but then I upgraded to Windows 10 and forgot about it. You found it already? Well, fuck you. Sorry, I didn't mean that. You're new and you just followed me and I really appreciate it. I mean, I'm just so jealous that you were able to do that so quickly. Right, back to it. Easily Googled. Fuck you. Absolutely. All you guys. Google magic, yeah. No, Google is listening. Trust me. Google listens. Did you guys see that shit where they released a thing saying, hey, do you want to see what information we have on you? And then you can go and listen to conversations that you had with people like 3 years ago. Google that shit. It's fucking mental. I listened to one and it was a conversation I had with my boss in like the 3rd month that I started there. It was crazy. I don't know why Google kept that. Don't know why they were listening. I don't know how they were listening, but they were listening. It was crazy. Android phone. No, it was it's a laptop. So I think I just signed in. I think I just signed into Google. Tom is from China and he's used to people listening into him. So I mean, it's normal for him, but for the rest of us in UK, it's still scary to hear. You got to be careful. I mean, I'm joking about that shit, but you are absolutely not. You do have to be careful. I've been watching those things. But we're not talking about politics. We're talking about fucking Aarons and Lewis. Yes. I know you're not from China. So you live in China. Do you ever think of Googling something, then type like one letter and Google already knows? I usually type P and it knows exactly where I want to go. Like exactly. Like every time. Just one letter. Right. Aarons and Lewis. Doing the good things. I want to look at to see how do we pick, because they're both 4.5, right? So how do we know which one to pick? Because this is kind of like a Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold thing going on, right? So right away we can see from the heat map that Lewis is actually doing a little bit better, but he doesn't go as far up. Whereas Aarons had a good few amount of touches higher up, and also if you notice, Lewis actually has a little bit of heat here. And it's minimal, but he had to defend a lot. So that's just because they were playing Liverpool. So we really do need an extra game to really see who's better. But for right now, let's have a look at their touches. And I just want to note also that Lewis had this many touches. I just wanted to point that out there. Aarons is safer. Lewis looked incredible in pre-season. Oh, that's good. Oh, we've got a Norwich fan. Jim Bob. You're Norwich. Oh, that's good. We might talk to you a little bit later. So let's look at the stats between those two and let's see who did better in that game. We can also go look at understat and we can see what their XG is. Okay, so this is Liverpool offensive, because we're not too worried about defensive, right? I mean, it's good. Excuse me. I know I've drank too much. I'm so sorry, guys. Defensive is good for bonus points, so if they keep a clean sheet, they might be into it. And Max Aarons did do a teeny bit better in defensively. one more clearance, two more tackles, a whole more interception, So he did do a little bit better. But it's offensive that we're really looking at. And as you can see, Lewis had 2 key passes, 3 dribbles, whereas Max Aarons only had the dribbles and had no key passes. So I'm pretty sure that Lewis is going to be our man, right? From attacking point of view. But I just don't know enough right now. So I would say that if I had to choose from game week 1, it would be Lewis, simply because he made 2 more key passes. Now let's look at the passing. Let's see how many crosses they did, right? And then you can see there, Aaron didn't make any crosses, whereas Lewis actually did. He also made a couple more actual, just simple passes. So I like him a lot. The problem is the fixtures. So let's have a look at the fixtures again. We're looking from game week 3 onwards, because we're potentially going to be going for 3 changes. Oh yes, we might possibly be taking a hit. Everyone might possibly be taking a hit from game week 3. So if we look at, and that's, if you're taking hits and you're moving players about, like for me it's Zuma, right? And I feel like that place is always going to be shifty for me. So in that case, I'm not probably going to be looking for it long term, but just for you guys, their long term's okay, but their short term, let's say to game week 9, it's not the greatest. No clean sheet game week 3, no clean sheet game week 5, probably no clean sheet game week 6 either. Crystal Palace maybe, if they haven't got their shit together. I don't see many clean sheets, and we still have to keep in mind that we want clean sheets. And Norwich are a team that are definitely not going to be doing any sort of clean sheeting, unless Jimmy, you're saying that they will, in which case you've watched them a lot more. You said not to mention Lewis is a full international and has a year or 2 more experience on Aarons. That's really good. Game week 6 onwards looks good for Norwich. Yeah, that's absolutely true. But I think I want more, if I was going to go for Norwich, I would want an attacking asset. So I would want Pookie, exactly, joining the Pookie party. Once Hanley's out of the team, you never know. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll definitely see. Now, my issue is that I want clean sheets as well as, so like Dean, I said his name right, Dean from Everton is a really good shout because he is getting loads of clean sheets and he's really attacking. That's like, the best of both worlds. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Mendy, Kyle Walker. I was going to say Rose there, but I totally changed my mind. But these players, Alonso last season, you want the clean sheets as well. And Doherty was getting clean sheets in the first half of the season with those attacking returns as well. So Norwich isn't for us, unfortunately. Norwich, if you want to go for any assets from Norwich, we're probably going to be looking at the Pookie party, right? So that's everyone I've looked at today. I've said I don't want, but they're always options. And if I wasn't going for Pope, I would definitely probably have Peters as my number 1 target. So my situation's not the same as your situation. Figured I'd show everyone anyway. Okay, so last but not least, someone who probably had the worst, I think it was the worst goal difference in game week 1, and that is this man here, Fredericks. However, he is still my number 1 target for game week 3. And I know someone said it in the chat a little bit ago. Fredericks has the best fixtures from game week 3 onwards out of any team for the next 10 game weeks. A 69.5. Watford, Norwich, Aston Villa, all potential clean sheets. Man United, no. Bournemouth away, probably not. Crystal Palace at home, it could happen. Everton away, probably not. Sheffield at home, I would say yes. Newcastle home, I would say yes. There's a lot of yeses in there. Tim says, I was always going to forget West Ham for Game Week 1 and look at them Game Week 2 onwards just because of Man City. Yeah, you're never going to get any assets. I know a few people had Anderson on their bench or, one of their new signings on the bench, and that's absolutely fine, and I would never have said anything to them. But, we do have transfers for a reason, and I'm definitely thinking about bringing this man in. So let's have a look at his heat map and his stats. I've got him up here. Now, it's not the best. Let's be absolutely truthful. Sorry, he's down here. It's okay. He did spend a little bit of time in City's box. He did spend a little time in their third. He spent a lot of time in defense. But it was City, right? And he even got a shout out in some of the Sky YouTube videos that I watched. I don't think he got a mention in Match of the Day, but I think he should. He actually defended well. Like, if you watch him, he had Sterling on that side. He had Zinchenko on that side. He had to watch a lot of runs, and he played pretty well. Like Tom says, we've got to remember that this was versus City, okay? So he is being told to not go forward. He's been told to just kind of sit back. For the first half, it was only 1-0. We have to remember that. So he's in that mind zone. He's been told by his coaches, he's been told by his manager, I'm defending this game. And yet, look at that heat map. That doesn't look like a I'm being told to defend heat map. That looks like a I still really like running up heat map. That looks like a here's a chance to break on the counter heat map, right? Lanzini played quite well in preseason, didn't he? He absolutely did. He played super well. He's on my watch list, definitely. And he played really well against City. Probably their only attacker that looked good in midfield. Haller looked good, or Aller looked really good, but definitely Lanzini looked better. He had Sterling on that side, and Sterling got a Hattie. Yeah, so Jimmy says that he wants Johnson Youngster would get minutes for West Ham. Mr. Ben Johnson. I wish so too, but Fredericks is just good. Attacking returns, he plays up the wing. Does Fredericks have significant advantage over Diop? Yeah, so Diop is centre-back, right? So centre-back is good in... Just think of Liverpool, right? Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to get further up a lot more, but, he's not going to be on the end of a corner. That's the best way to look at it. So let's look at the stats for Fredericks. And this is where I really dug deep, because offensively, he didn't do much, right? Now, we have to remember, like I said, he's playing City, so that's never going to look good. Defensively, though, not bad. 3 tackles, 1 interception, 2 clearances, only 1 foul. Now, that's something I really like. He's only had 1 foul, no yellow cards. His passing, he had probably the same amount of passing as most of the other fullbacks that we saw. 3 crosses. Now, that is really, really, really good. So he found a way to get 3 of his crosses to actually, land against City. That's really good. And on top of that, 85% accuracy. So see if he kept these numbers up and got assist and kept a clean sheet. That's bones right there. Defensively, he actually did the best in his team, other than Declan Rice, who we know doesn't get a clean sheet bonus. So if Fredericks is the best defender on the team, and he's getting crosses in, even if it's 0-0, he's up for bones, right? That's really, really good. Tommaso, yeah, not accurate ones though. I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if this counts accuracy. I'm assuming not, right? Because it says accurate. There it is, right there. Accuracy, no accuracy for his crosses. But he's getting into that point, right? So I feel like if you have a player who's able to find a cross, even if it's not hitting his target, against City, I feel like that's worth double checking. So he is my number 1 target. So I'm leaving him in my team. Yeah. So far, if after having a look, Fredericks, unless you not have Pope to worry about, then it's Piers. That is our Doherty watch. We're an hour and 8 minutes in. I feel like that's pretty good going. So what do we think then? Who's for Fredericks? Who's for Peters? What fullback are you guys looking at? And if you have other fullbacks you want to look at, let's do that now. I'm pretty sure someone said Gilbert. Is that how you say his name? Gilbert? If it's Gilbert, I'm really happy because I can pronounce that very easily. All players, GUI. Gilbert, 4.5, Aston Villa. All right. Let's remind ourselves where Aston Villa are. All the way down here. Sorry, no whistling on mic. Yeah, he didn't play against Spurs, but he's one to watch. Who are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about Gilbert. Yeah. Did really well in pre-season. I have... Right, okay, so let me have a look. So, is Peters going to keep his place? We don't know. We absolutely don't know. You have Heaton, so it doesn't really matter. That's great. That means you can go for him, Peters. Frederick says Tom, absolutely. Keep my eyes on both. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be going over it next week, so we'll definitely check it out to see who is doing better. Tyrone Mings from Villa, potentially too, is another 4.5 defender. Diop will play. I'm happy with him, but Taylor's off for a 4.0, I think. Yeah, Tom, you've went for Diop. You've made the smart choice. You don't have to waste a transfer. So I feel like not wasting a transfer is good enough in this situation. And you can always sideways move if Fraser goes nuts. Or not Fraser, Fredericks goes nuts or someone else. Like, it's always an option. Even if in that week you don't really have anything else to do, you could simply move him over. So there's always an option there. Ross says Peters. Jim So says Mings. Right, let's have a look at Aston Villa then. Because there's Mings and there's Gilbert. Gilbert didn't play, so we're not going to be able to look at his stats or anything, but I'm assuming if you're shouting him, then he should be playing, or maybe he was, he's a bit injured or something. What is the story with him? He's a card magnet. But we're not too worried about that, right? Are we absolutely 100% worried about cards? I don't really give a shit about cards unless it's red. Like, after a yellow card, they usually calm down. And if they don't calm down, well, it's going to be a transfer next week anyway. I've never ever thought to myself, I'm not getting him, he's a card magnet. All of last season, I don't think I once was like, no, I don't like it. I don't think so. No, didn't check it. I'm pretty sure I probably didn't bring someone in because they were on 9 yellow cards or something like that. Like Shaw for a while, I'm pretty sure he was like teetering on the edge. So that was an issue. Like if they get to that point, then I'll probably think about it. But in terms of like right now, I'm not too big. Okay, so Aston Villa, their fixtures aren't the best because of this Man City Liverpool thing, right? But we could obviously have already wildcarded before then. So let's have a look at game week 9, which is kind of what we've been doing this whole time anyway. And bam, right there. They jump up. Oh, sorry. This one. Villa have really good fixtures. Like I just said there. Sorry, I had the wrong screen on. Because of this Man City and this Liverpool fixture, they're right down near the bottom, right? But if we take those out because it's potential to wildcard before then, they actually only have Everton and Arsenal and potentially Burnley as issues there. I mean, Norwich away might be a problem if Norwich are always attacking. Crystal Palace is a bit of an issue as well away, I feel like, if Zaha's starting. But all the rest of them, West Ham, Brighton, Burnley, I feel like those are clean sheetable, and Aston Villa could absolutely shore up because they didn't give a lot of shots to Tottenham. They didn't have a lot of holes. I mean, obviously Tottenham scored 3 goals, so there was something. But, and Dembele scored a beauty from well outside the box, and, that's not going to happen every week. There was a bit of a defensive blunder to give Kane his first goal. So, I mean, I'm sure it was just nerves, right? First game nerves. Aston Villa aren't going to be the best clean sheet team in the world, right? But they're going to be fine. I feel like they're going to be okay. So, these are okay. These aren't the best, but they're fine. The problem is that they don't really get good until game week 7, and by that time, all our thinking could change. That's my only worry, because their first 4 game weeks, if we look at just their first 4, like, See, they kind of go down a lot. They're kind of in the middle of the road there. And then that means that Burnley are better. So there's Peters for you. West Ham, there's Fredericks. You know, they're better choices. So let's have a look at Mings' stats. It's raw. Spurs had 31 shots. Yeah, but how many of them were in the box? How many of them were blocked? How many of them actually needed to be saved? We can have a look at that as well, actually. Right, Aston Villa. I've got them up just because I wanted to have a look. So there's Mings. He's a centre back, so I'm not sure how much he's going to be doing in terms of attacking, but we can have a look anyway. Let's get rid of this. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, there's Walker Peters. Ndombele has been signed 150,000 times. What, in like this week? That's mental. He is really attacking, so we could have a look at that right now. Ndombele, that's centre attacking mid. That's pretty decent. He's getting in about it. Moving to the left, I think I mean, he's 6 million. Is he not 6 million or 6.5? I probably wouldn't do it, but I can see the reasoning. And then Moura, and there's Lamela, taking a lot of those corners. But anyway, this is something I wanted to note, right? So Rose super high up, but Walker Peters, that is some good heat maps. So see if he keeps his place. He's definitely in my watch list. I hope he does. He probably won't, but I hope he does. That's really, really good. But we're not here for Tottenham. We're here for these guys. It's not really attacking, is it? It's not very good. We don't know when Gilbert's going to be back. I'm not really sure what's happening with him. There wasn't many touches for these guys. It seems like they're more of a central team, right? Look, so he's been pushing up. He's a centre back getting right up there. McGinn is getting right up there with his goal, obviously tracking a lot. Like, it seems like a very centre heavy team, focusing on the left a few times there as well. But yeah, this is a team that decided to defend most of the time. And if they were pushing out, like you've seen when you watch the game, very much a centre attacking team. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not 100% sure on Aston Villa. Like I said, the fixtures aren't the greatest for the next 4 game weeks. They didn't really do much in the wing. I really want a fullback that I can count on. So we're going to have to come back to them. So yeah. Is there anyone else you guys want me to have a look at? Some people could be yellow card magnets but never get a red, like Diego Costa. Yeah, never forget that. Villa's fixtures what made me think of them. I don't think that they're the best fixtures, to be fair. Oh yeah, we were going to look at the shots. So how many times did they actually get a shot off that was on target and not blocked? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit. So Tottenham offensive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots on target. That's not that good. For a top 6 side, not that good. You need to work the goalkeeper a lot more than 7 times. I mean, it's good, but like, it's Aston Villa. And you're at home. And yes, Kane was shooting loads. That's what he likes to do. And it's good signs for people who are, on Kane or thinking about getting Kane. And we talked about this last game, but I absolutely wouldn't be against anyone getting Kane. But Jimmy's got Kane, you can tell. But yes, like, I think Aston Villa will be okay. I don't see them struggling defensively. And all eyes are on McGinn, right? Because McGinn is the one that everyone wanted to go for. Everyone's thinking about 5.5 million, etc., etc. Right, so we've had a look at the fullbacks. We've had a look at Liverpool and Chelsea. I'm going to do your guys' questions in a bit. So if you do the commands, there's loads of commands that we can have fun with. One of them is Twitter. I'll show you my Twitter. And you can go on that and then find the last tweet I did or whatever. And just tweet me your questions, like, or just ask them here. But I'm going to be looking at that. Usually when I'm streaming, if you want to send me your team, this is the point where I'd be like, go send me your team. I'm not done. We're not done. Don't you fucking dare leave, Tim. We ain't done. We've only been going for 118 minutes. No, 1 hour and 18 minutes. We're not even at 90. But you're welcome for the stream, buddy. Fuck's sake, thought you were. No, so this is my Twitter, and usually, if you guys are new around here, right, usually I will do rate my teams for you guys. So if you're watching me and you've been with us this long, you know, I might as well just have a look over your teams and give you my brutal, honest opinion. But because it's Thursday and we're game week 1, there's probably not that many teams to look into. I didn't really get that many sent to me on Monday, so we're just doing questions this time. But before we get to that, let's pause the music. I want to play you, if you guys haven't listened to the Fantasy Weekly podcast, which is the one that I'm going to be going on to on Tuesday, I wanted to play you a little clip where they say really nice things about me because I'm vain and I wanted to show you guys because I'm really proud of this. Ready for this? Yeah, Tom, for fuck's sake, I'm doing a podcast. Where were you? Where have you been? I hadn't mentioned. Well, let me just mention it again, okay? You bastard. All right, I'm talking about it too much, but just listen, okay? So this is James talking about it, and they said some nice things, and it genuinely is a good podcast because if you listen to 59th Minute podcast, it's very straight to the point, but this one they actually have a laugh. So because they have a laugh, it's a bit more fun to listen to. I knew you were joking, buddy. Don't worry.
Speaking of sun.
Oh my god, that's so loud. How do I turn that down? I'll just turn down this. Okay, here we go.
I'm actually going to be in Croatia for the next 10 days. I'll be spending game week 2, hopefully on a beach, following my live scores like a sado. Which means that we're going to have a guest presenter next week, listeners. In my absence, FPL Dave. Some of you may know him on Twitter. He's a fantastic streamer on Twitch as well. Scottish chap, in fact, Mark, he lives just across Glasgow from you. He may well have been at that pub had it not been for the advert.
Sorry, I'll restart it. We got to listen to it again.
Which means that we're going to have a guest presenter next week.
Just as they say, I'm a good streamer and you can't hear it.
FPL Dave. Some of you may know him on Twitter. He's a fantastic streamer on Twitch as well. Scottish chap, in fact, Mark, he lives just across Glasgow from you. He may well have been at that pub had it not been for the adverse weather conditions.
He was going to do a meetup.
He'll be taking the reins next episode. He's also the author of the very popular The Monday After series on Fantasy Football Scout. Lovely chap. I'm yet to meet him in person, but he seems like a very friendly guy.
Friendly.
He's going to be in safe hands.
Safe hands.
Mark, I know you're worried about it, Mark, but don't miss me too much.
That was a joke. He's not worried about it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Fucking General's looking forward to me. All right. So go follow the shit out of these guys, and we'll have a laugh. Man chose Murray. Safe hands. Lovely chap. Yes, exactly. Mate. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Liam. Congratulations to me. Good job by me. Murray was a punt. Get to absolute fuck. And he's coming out of the team soon. So it was a fine punt. Who did you go with? Diop? Humble streamer. No, so my thing is that if you do something well, just tell everyone about it. Because if you don't, then they won't know. And then they won't know how great you are. So, you know, you gotta be... I'm absolutely joking. I'm just really excited, guys. And I wanted to share with you guys. Can you swear on the weekly podcast? I really don't think you can. You should have seen the email that I got from the Fantasy Scout. I don't know if I can... Yeah, so I emailed them and I said, I'm really sorry that I'm late sending you the article in. Can you please post it because it's Monday and it's called the Monday article and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't get anything back because he was obviously a busy guy and they're really busy over there. And but then eventually I got a little ping and it was like, your article's up. We really liked it, blah, blah, blah. And I read it and I had a wee look through it and I was like, okay. So, right. And I emailed them saying, thank you very much for posting my article. I realized that I sent it late and you still put it up. That's really nice of you. I really, really appreciate everything you guys done. I also have noted that you have stripped it entirely of all swearing and making fun of the players. I'm really sorry. I will take that out from future articles. So it's just censoring myself is a bit of it's a very hard thing to do. The squeakiest gate gets the oil. Yeah, I'm fucked. Bunch of fucking pussies. Are they full-time FPL? I think so. Like, the scout guys? I'm pretty sure they are. The pay would be shit, but at least it would be fun. It's a man to full-time job. While me, I do freelance motorsport work every so often, and outside of that, and I'm unemployed. Tim, that's amazing. Well done, buddy. Doing something you love is fantastic, and I get to talk to you guys about it. Oh, this feels really weird without music. Let's put the music back on. I get to talk to you guys about FPL, and I get to do it a couple times a week. Excuse me. I write articles because I can't get out of my head. Like, I'm writing all the time. All the time I'm writing. Every time I watch a game, every time I think of something, I've got like notes on my phone all the time. And it's just that concentration thing. Like, I've got it bad and I can't do anything about it. So I just put all my notes together and whip up an article and throw it out. So that's easy enough. Because I'm already doing that. I'm talking to you guys, which I enjoy, and I like kind of talking through my thought process and showing you guys my research, so that's also good. And then, you know, if I got paid for that shit, that's awesome. Like, I would really enjoy that. That's really good. So yeah, I love it, but it barely pays the bills, and for every £100 I make, £63 gets taken off of universal credit. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Money from Patreon or like ad revenue. The Soviet Socialist Republic of Fantasy Football Scout. That's funny. I wrote an article about Norwich midfielders, put it into fantasy context, but then realised no one cared about Norwich players on FPL. Mate, hold that article. So what I would do is I would hold the article, right? And then just redo it when Norwich get... Like, look, let's have a look when Norwich is... I can't see. Norwich look really, really good. I'm pretty sure it's game week 8, right? This is what I mean about always writing stuff. Like, I've fucking looked at this like for 12 hours or something. It's really sad, actually. So if we go up to, there you go. So after, it's game week 10. So game week 11 onwards. Oh, because we've started already. Oh, so game week 10 onwards. Like, look at that. That's pretty damn good. So see if you just hold your article for then. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be interested then, right? That's a really good run. That's the best run, second best run of that game week 11 to game week 19. So just hold that shit. You'll be absolutely fine. I'm a retail assistant in Primark. Fucking just hang on to that grind. Like, doesn't matter what you do as long as you have fun doing it. Absolutely. 63. Yeah, bad news. Daylight robbery. What about Norfolk Messi? Buendina. Declare earnings for next year. All right. So we're running very, very close to end of the stream. So I'm gonna answer the questions that I was sent on Reddit or on thingy. Villa's fixtures aren't very, very good. Might be the best 8-game fixtures run I've seen in a couple of years. Okay, thank you for that, buddy. I'll talk to you in a minute. Someone's just saying that. I guess you're watching. I definitely disagree. Maybe for Villa. Is he a Villa fan? Let's click. Oh, I don't know. Right, so I'm gonna have a look at these questions right real quick, because I'm pretty sure someone sent me some good ones. Right, Vishal sent me, now that we've been priced out of Moura to Martial, what alternative moves can be done to bring in potential point scorers? Alright, so 7.5. Here's my top people I've been looking at. Pulisic, definitely. Pulisic, we're going to have to see, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be a monster. And everyone knows he's going to be a monster, but like, Chelsea have really good fixtures. Lanzini, again, really, really good fixtures. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to do well because good fixtures plus good player plus good looking against Man City. Absolutely fine. Third is Pogba. Pogba hasn't moved up yet and he didn't really play that well and still got 2 assists. So imagine what he's doing when he's playing well. And Manchester United fixtures are on the up. So although Martial priced up a little bit, Pogba didn't. And he's still on penalties. And that was confirmed. So don't worry too much about it. Other 7.5s, let me have a quick look. I'm pretty sure Anderson is injured, so that's not that great. Let's jump in. Get Gilbert out the way. So Pulisic, we said. David Silva, no. Luka Moura, no. Ozil, no. Ozil actually dropped in price. That's funny. Pedro, now there's been a lot of shouts on Pedro, and I'm just not convinced. I just can't get last season out of my mind for him. Now, I know that's probably bad to say, but like if Pulisic comes in, then that means that he's going to be nailed, and Pulisic is really, really, really rotation risky. It's Raw says, isn't Pogba more than 7.5? He absolutely is more than 7.5. He's 8 million, but it's easier to cleanly drop point because right now what you would have to do, right? Pogba and Martial are pretty much the same price because to go from Fraser to Martial, you're going to have 0.5 million. You're going to have to find that from somewhere. And to go from Fraser to Pogba, you're also going to have 0.5 million saving somewhere. So they actually cost the exact same amount of money. The only difference is that if you go with Martial, you can also afford another price rise should that happen. But if you're going to make the effort anyway, you could go for Pogba, who got 2 assists and is on penalties. So, I mean, it's up down to preference, and Martial's a good shout regardless. But if you don't want to lose out on that money, or you're not too sure about it, and you really want a Manchester United thing, I think Pogba's been slept on. He's gonna do great. I can't see a season where he doesn't play well. So, yeah, it costs the same if you look at it in one sort of way. Does that make sense? FPL tried to drop Ozil 0.3, but Kolasinac backed him. Yeah, that's mental how like all that's happening. I don't understand the gang stuff, but like that sucks. That's not great. Dave, it's been a pleasure. I'm off to bed now. I have work in the morning. Super happy you're doing so well, my man. Thank you very much, Liam. Appreciate it. We're gonna head off soon as well. Thank you very much. Tim Lum says, I'm a Man United fan. Didn't see them at the weekend though. I usually have bad luck in the last 5-10 years of FPL with Man United players. Yeah, so a lot of people who are Man United fans or you know, Norwich fans or not Liverpool, because you kind of wanted 3 of them, but like I could always tell when someone sent me a rate my team and it had 3 Arsenal players in it. You're like, okay, you're an Arsenal fan. And I would say if I had 10 rules, somewhere in there of my like Bible would be don't support a team. And if you do support a team, try not to think about it like that, because it's really difficult to be biased or unbiased in your own team, right? Like you're going to look at a player and think he's amazing, but then everyone else who doesn't support that team is like, he's okay. That's bad, right? Because it means that you will be more likely to bring them in. So definitely kind of like hold fire if you are, or wait for other people to tell you that it's okay. Yes. So I'm not a fan of anyone in the Premier League. I don't have any player affiliation or any team affiliation. Don't own any shirts. No nothing. So I can tell you that Martial's a good choice. Rashford's a good choice. I'm not 100% on their defense. I think they were very lucky. We'll see what happens in Wolves. But yeah, and Pogba, if you're gonna get the 0.5 million, he will go up. See if he gets another assist, he'll go up to 0.6 to 8.1. So that's an option. Fuck me, I'm late to the stream, says Calamar. Don't you worry about it. You've still got about 60 seconds before we leave. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna go on for maybe another 10 minutes or something. We've still got to get FPL general questions, guys. So think about them, right? I'm like that for FPL. If anything makes me mostly stay away from Man United assets because I know how up and down they can be. Yeah. Last year I was so biased. Yeah, it's really difficult not to be. First question is sorted. Oh yeah, first question. What was it again? Can I plug my stream, FPL Dave? Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to sell out that much. I would quite like to be asked back on. Okay, Lank Frampard asked on Twitter, question for the stream, thoughts on Barkley, Mount, or another 6 million mid? I've been poring over the 6 million mids, and they're really not that great. Like, McGinn is a better choice at 5.5. Norwood looked okay. But yeah, I definitely didn't see anyone that I really liked. Let me have another quick look. Grealish didn't play that well. Trossard is 6 million, but he didn't show up. Goodmanson. He played well, but we don't know if he's going to be here to stay. He's been tooted before. He's been shouted before. I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I'll really need to watch. Townsend, no. Iwobi is a wait and see, but I would probably put him on my watch list just because he's probably nailed when he starts playing. But yeah, no one else really. So everyone's kind of a wait and see. So if you've got Barkley or you've got Mount, you're kind of fucked. You're going to have to stay with them for at least a little bit till we see. Or use them as a jump back. Good night, another great stream. Thank you very much, It's Raw. Appreciate you coming out, dude. For Chelsea, Emerson is probably still my only cheap FPL player I'm keeping an eye on. Yeah, so that's an option, right? See if you downgraded Barkley to Dendonker, say you're 5 or whatever, or downgrade him to a non-playing player, and then upgrade your defense. You can get so many good defenders for 6 million, and that's the problem, right? Is that like Barkley or Walker or Mendy or whoever's playing for City at the back, right? That's a no-brainer. But the problem is you want to have Dendonker on your bench. So if you don't have him and you're playing 5 in the mid, I would probably downgrade Barkley or whatever 6 million mid you have to Dendonker, and then move that money from your mid to your defense and go and shore up at the back. His fixtures ain't great either. Who are we talking about? Barkley's fixtures are great. I'd have McGinn and save the money. Fuck it, get AWB. Everyone else has him. Yeah, no, fuck that. Like I'm not jumping on Man United just because of the ownership. I definitely don't. Oh, Goodmanson fixtures. Yeah. He's Burnley's fixtures aren't good until at least game week 5, right? Callum Robinson. Question for the stream: What to do if you've already done a transfer this game week, but you're planning for 2+ transfers in the next game week? Take that hit. I mean, I'm 100% fine with hits. I took a lot of hits last season. I took a hit in game week 3 to bring in Doherty, Alonso, and Hazard, I think. Or maybe it was in between. I got Hazard the next week. But like, I actually think that was the case because we didn't know if he was going to be starting game week 3. So I downgraded Salah, actually, I think it was, and got Doherty and got Alonso, and got a random, I don't remember who it was, Bernardo Silva or something, and then upgraded to Hazard when he got back and he was nailed. Because watching him coming off the bench and doing all that shit that he was doing was mental. So yeah, I'm absolutely happy for you guys to take hits. It doesn't bother me one bit. You just need to be absolutely sure. So here's the difference, right? I got Doherty, Alonso, and Hazard, and it cost me 4 points or whatever, right? I knew that I wasn't getting rid of any of those. Now that's the difference. You don't hit on Pookie. You don't hit on fucking Martial, right? You don't take hits like that because they are not either premium or they're not like here to stay. Martial could potentially get transferred out in 3 game weeks because he's not playing well. It was just 1 game. So I definitely wouldn't be hitting on any player if I didn't think absolutely, even if they have 2 bad games, I'm keeping them in my team. Doherty was 4.4 million when I brought him in, so he was a cheap as chips, didn't have to worry about it. Alonso was a premium, Chelsea's fixtures were good, didn't have to worry about that, and Hazard was the same, right? So that's the difference. Don't take hits if they're really, really, really like short term, because that 4 points that it costs you to do that spread over 10 game weeks is 0.4 of a hit per game week, and they can make that up just with like an assist every 3 games. Whereas if you take a hit and then bring them out in 3 game weeks, they needed to have scored at least in those 3 game weeks to make that worth it. And it rarely happens. So don't hit unless you're absolutely sure you're keeping them. All the casuals seem to have AWB, but none of the veterans. Yeah, don't worry about AWB. He's not worth it. 4 million, he was good. 5.5, not that great. There's better ways. There's better ways to deal with the 5.5 at the back decision. I'd rather wait on Man United just because I know what they can be like. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I'd only take a -4 hit to get in Kane, not make any defensive. Yotta's goal in Wolves game tonight was cool. Let's have a watch. I can't watch it on the stream. My stream's been fucking done before. Oh shit, it was an overhead kick. I mean, he was completely undefended. But yeah, it was not bad. Good technique. He's a good player. Decent player. Apparently it was filthy. Aye, click that link, guys. It was pretty good. Right. We have, I'm going to say 5 minutes from now, everyone, there's only 10 of us in the stream, right? But everyone who's here, I want one question that you would want to ask FPL General that is not related to FPL. One question. Everyone. If you could ask him anything and you've been told you're going to go on a podcast and you're going to talk to one of like the Ronaldo of FPL, what would you want to ask him? That is some pressure. That is the pressure I'm under, my man. You got to just jump in there. Guns blazing. What do you want to ask him? Tim, what's your favourite area of Scotland? That is very specific. Fave area of Scotland. His answer better be the pub. Right. If you could have 10 legs and no fingers, or 2 fingers and no legs, what would you have? 10 legs, 2 fingers, or 10 legs, no fingers, or 2 fingers, no legs. That's mental. Non-FPL, but still football. That's because I think he's Scottish. Tim, where are you from? Because he's definitely 100%, 1,000,000% Irish. So if you can't differentiate between Ireland and Scotland, I'm going to safely say you're from America. Or just really, really far away from reality. Where are you from? Tell me. I want to know. Oh, you just heard that he was from... No, he lives in Scotland. He lives in Glasgow. Lives like 20 minutes that way. 20 minutes that way. He lives in the West End, I think. I'm from Scarborough, North Yorkshire. Oh, right, okay, yeah. He did say. Right, I've had... How many questions have I had? What's your favourite? And that's 2... I need 8 more questions. 8 people here. I'm not going to put that much pressure on you guys, but I want more questions. Come on now. Jimmy. You can still ask football questions, just not I don't want someone to be like, oh, Fraser to Pulisic. Oh, can you rate my team? Like, I don't want that shit, right? Favorite non-UK team? Great question. Favorite non-UK team. What's his most memorable football moment? It's probably this, right? This is just a test. Come on now. That is the best. Does anyone know? Does anyone think differently? That is the best moment. Best moment, right? It's gotta be. It's gotta be the best moment. Best goal he's witnessed live. Best goal. Best stadium. Now we're talking. Now we're flowing with gas. Ask who his favorite FPL's Twitch streamer is. Yes! That's so classic Dave. Right, hold on. Thank you very much, Solington. Favorite FPL Twitch streamer. Now that's key because I'm pretty sure no one else is on Twitch. Twitch. Morris goal against Ajax was pretty awesome, but I'm biased. Yeah, you Tottenham loving son of a gun. City fanboy. I'm not a City fanboy, but that's got to be the best one, right? Like, I get chills, and I wasn't really watching football, but just to know that that was like the winning Premier League, and just to hear his voice, just to know, like, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, not as a Man United fan, Tim. I'm really sorry about that. That sound reminds me of United tears. That was torture. That's funny because that's my sub button. So I've got the follow button, which is the Messi. Subscription button is that Aguero thing, and then this is my favorite. This is if you donate any money to me. If you want to send me money, we get to hear the best Celtic moment ever. The best moment was in Celtic. This is Tony Watt. He's done it. This is the stuff of legend. Yes, that just that's great. Now, I was going to put on the Celtic TV version of that, but it's just Tony fucking what? Tony fucking what? Tony! And it's too loud. So I changed it. My old boss is a big Celtic fan. Yeah, that's because he knows what he's talking about. The best moment was Jenna's slip. Okay, so we've got some good questions. We've got favorite FPL Twitch streamer. I like that one. Favorite area of Scotland. 10 legs, 0 toes, or 0 fingers. I can't even read that. That's so confusing. Two legs, no fingers. Favorite favorite non-UK team. Best goal live. Best stadium. Aye, we've got enough. That's pretty good. A friend of mine in Glasgow, I think, is a St. Mirren fan. And you like Fiorentina. That's pretty decent. That's a good one to like. Would you rather have 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? That is always a good one. I'm not going to ask him that. He's probably been asked before. I also don't agree with 99% of people who answer that question. They've obviously never fought a duck before. When you go to the pub, what you drinking? Oh, that's good. What's your favorite drink? I fucking like that one. Jehovah's Thickness. What's happening, Andy? When you go to the pub, no, ask him if he knows how to bleed a radiator. How handy are you in the home? Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? If he says yes, you can leave. Favorite pizza topping? Does he prefer Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz? Yes, that's a hot fucking topic in this stream, right? Because you all know that it is Shaun of the Dead, but you pretend and you come on this stream just to annoy me and you say Hot Fuzz. Watch. Shaun of the Dead is the best Cornetto trilogy movie. Right or wrong? And then wait for the flood. Bollocks. Fact. Yes! We've got an agreement. Favorite drink? Totally World's End. World's End! Not many people get World's End. The correct answer is The World's End. Yeah, no, I mean, The World's End is a great movie, but in terms of, like, my favorite, my stream, my favorite, I don't know if I like all the letters on this side. I think there's too many. I think I might move it onto the other side. Because we're just kind of chilling now, right? I feel like that is a bit nicer. Yeah, a bit nicer. Excuse me. Can we all just agree to enjoy all 3 films? Leave Shaun of the Dead alone. Leave the Cornetto alone. Sean Hot Fuzz, all movies, World End. Oh no, World End was good. What the fuck does what the fuck mean? I agree. Just the one goose, actually. Yeah. Alright. We digress.